Hey everybody, welcome to the Leek. I'm John as always, and today we're going to recap the Tuesday and Wednesday announcements and my takes on them. I didn't do a Tuesday video yesterday, in part because I didn't get home from Montreal until quite late, and in part because there wasn't really that much there in yesterday's announcement, but there was some fallout that did follow. Up first is the banned and restricted list announcement. I was wrong in my prediction, giving a 50.5% chance to no changes, but my 49.5% chances of just Marvel being banned were correct. Marvel is banned. Not much else to say there. Everybody's pretty okay with that. It was not doing great. It was very much like Birthing Pod, where kind of every single card that was printed after really had to be thought about. Does it go into Marvel? Does it get broken in Marvel? And that's just a big problem. So Marvel is banned in Standard, and I don't think anybody is terribly upset about that. The Magic Digital Next announcement also occurred on Tuesday, and as I expected, it was relatively minor. We got Wizards officially announcing, in their own words, the MMO being developed by Cryptic Studios. They praised the advancements in MTGO, like the earlier set releases and the anniversary events that are going on right now, and they did briefly mention that they have their own in-house game being developed that they'll reveal with playable demos at HasCon in September. Odds are, this will be the replacement for Magic Duels, which is unfortunately being discontinued. Magic Duels will receive no further updates, not even Hour of Devastation. That sucks, for sure, especially for those who played the game heavily. Maybe it was even their primary way of playing Magic the Gathering. However, it's time for a mini rant/lash out against hyperbolic reactionary community members. I'm seeing demands of reimbursement, refunds, compensation, basically, give me money because you're not going to update this game anymore. If you had any belief that this game was going to last forever, you're extremely naive and have basically no understanding of the video game industry as a whole. Games die. Games die left and right. When a game stops being profitable, you can't expect the company to continue sinking money into it just because you play it and you've put money into it. That's unreasonable. There's no precedent or expectation that when a game reaches its end of life, that players get reimbursed. You had your fun. You gave money in exchange for fun. You want a reimbursement. Does Wizards get to go to your house and suck the fun out of you? Do they get to punch you in the face until they've decided you've had enough unfun to, make up for the money that they're about to give you back? No, the transaction's complete. There's no expectation that when an online game dies, even though you put money into it, that you are somehow going to get money out of it, that you're owed something. I understand a game that you love is dying. I've been there. I've had games that I've put money into die. But the entitled attitude that you feel promised the ability to play this game until the day you die, at which point your descendants inherit the value and are paid out some sort of investment, is just, it's beyond reasonable. You don't invest in an online game. You purchase things in an online game. You rent them. You consume them. You didn't invest anything. You're not owed anything. Anyways, Magic Duels remains playable, and likely will for the foreseeable future. You can still download and play the original Duels of the Planeswalkers for the Xbox 360 released in 2009. The servers for that game are still up. You can still play it. I'd expect Magic Duels to be similar. You'll still be able to play it. Yeah, it won't be updated. That sucks. Something else is probably going to come along in September to replace it, or at least we're going to get the announcement of it. But it's not like they have ripped it out of your hands. You can still play it. You can still have fun with it. Anyways, what will that new game that replaces it be? Who knows? We know so little that I'm not one to speculate on it, lest that be taken and repeated as fact, which is a massive pet peeve of mine in the Magic community and the internet as a whole. My pet prediction, based on nothing, is that it's a rather big departure from the Magic rules set and more digital card game in mechanics, but we'll see in September. That brings us to today. Today was the more traditional announcement day where we got to learn all about the upcoming products for the next year, though I would expect a number of further announcements in the fall, winter, for kind of summer and fall of next year products. And boy, is there some juicy stuff in here. Up first is Ixalan. We still don't know much about it, but we do know something that I'm very excited about. Dinosaurs. We know about dinosaurs. Dinosaurs! Finally, I'm one of the many who have wanted to see a dinosaur world for forever, and we're gonna get it. Also, Vraska's there, and she's a pirate with pirate buddies. And if you look closely, there's monkeys and a weird hedgehog thing. Totally sold. That's all I need to know about Ixalan. Next January, we get our final small set, Rivals of Ixalan, continuing the story of Ixalan and leading us to our first of the standalone large set structure sets, which I'll get to in a little bit. Explorers of Ixalan is a, quote, out-of-the-box multiplayer Magic experience coming in November. There's not much info on this that I've seen yet. It does have 4 60-card decks, and perhaps more interestingly, 50 game tiles and 40 counter pieces. At first I was thinking this was a board game, but it has the E02 expansion code. Archenemy Nicol Bolas was E01, and does explicitly say there's no new cards in those 60-card decks. So I do believe that this is going to be a Magic card thing. It's going to be 4 60 card decks made of Magic cards that we know that have already been printed. But with the 50 game tiles, I'm assuming there's some sort of extra game attached to it. Maybe like a beefed up challenge deck like we had during the Theros pre-releases. I'm very excited for this. I love board games. I don't expect this to be a board game. I've seen people saying, oh, this is going to be just like Settlers. I really strongly doubt it. But I do expect it to be closer to a board game than a game of Magic is at FNM. But I still expect it to be a Magic variant more than I do expect this to be any sort of standalone tabletop game, like Arena of the Planeswalkers, for example. Anyways, very excited to see what it is once we get word on what it is. The art of Magic the Gathering Ixalan was also announced and certainly was expected. There's been an art book for every previous set, and I'm going to take a quick note here to say that I've raved about these a few times, but if you haven't heard me talk about these yet, these are my single favorite Magic spin-off products ever. They're called art books, and they're filled with gorgeous art, but beyond that, there's a massive amount of information packed into them. I read through the Innistrad one, for example, and it took me a solid week and a half of evening reading. There is just massive amounts of text in these things going into deep, deep, deep world-building information. Do you want to know how Innistrad is broken down into provinces and what each of those provinces do and specialize in, and their exports and their histories? Do you want to know about the hierarchy of the Church of Avacyn? These books have so much lore and history in them along with the art. It's insane. Seriously, buy these. They are my favorite Magic spin-off products ever. The next duel deck is certainly going to make some people excited. It's Merfolk versus Goblins. Goblins, of course, are an EDH format staple, and they show up here and there in Modern and Legacy. And Merfolk, of course, is definitely a Modern deck. Tier 1.5, sometimes even Tier 1, and there is Legacy Merfolk as well. That being said, this is a duel deck. This is a normally priced duel deck. Do not, I repeat, do not expect the Merfolk deck to have a playset of Aether Vials and Lords of Atlantis and etc. They're going to be relatively weak versions of these decks. Maybe not even built similarly to those decks. There will be reprints. I would fully expect a Lord of Atlantis. I would fully expect a Goblin Rabble Master, but I don't want anybody to get super excited about these basically being ready to go Modern decks. Calm down with that. Still though, I love that dual decks exist. They are amazing for getting somebody into Magic. A friend, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, somebody who's maybe not familiar with Magic. Just 2 pre-constructed decks that are built to be played against each other are an amazing product. Absolutely incredible way to get people into Magic. The next from the Vault was announced, and honestly, I was ready for an announcement that they were just going to stop making them, because they are gonna start running out of stuff to do, just like Masterpiece sets. But in November, we're getting from the Vault Transform. Now, instantly, I saw people speculating that this could be, ooh, double-face cards and flip cards, and it could be about characters who transformed from one character to another. But remember, in Magic, words have very explicit meanings. Transform refers to, and only refers to, the mechanic that double-faced cards use. No flip cards, no morphs, just Innistrad and Origins double-face cards. Still, there's a ton of great cards that could be in this. Avacyn, Baby Jace, Huntmaster of the Fells. I would love to see Gisela and Bruna reprinted in the FTV foil. I do like the FTV foiling process. Yes, they can warp, but if you flatten them, I haven't had them rewarp. I kept all of my FTV-20 under heavy textbooks for about a week. They have not warped ever since. So, you know, go through a little bit of work, and they just look gorgeous. And can you imagine some alternate art on Delver of Secrets? Whew, I'm excited to see what's in this set, and I will certainly continue picking up the FTVs. Boy, we are so not done yet, but we're getting there. In April, we start the single set structure with Dominaria. That's right, the name is just Dominaria for you newer players. And by newer, I mean, I don't know, last 10, 15 years? Dominaria is where Magic started. All Magic sets for a long time were set on this one single plane. It was about planeswalkers, and they planeswalked to other places, but the story was always set just on Dominaria. Dominaria is a massive plane with several different continents with extremely different cultures and creatures and etc. We do know that a Johnny headed back there to recruit some friends after Kaladesh, so who knows what's going to be there when we get there. But starting next year, we're going back to Dominaria. The Masters set in 2018 will release in March and is called Masters 25. Basically, Iconic Masters was misunderstood by many people, myself included, to be cards showcasing Magic's 25 years, but instead Iconic Masters is really about the iconic creature types, dragons, angels, etc. It sounds like it's going to be a tribal set, which goes along with the tribal commander set, the tribal dual decks of Merfolk versus Goblins, etc. But Wizards liked the idea of a set celebrating the 25 years, and so we're going to get it anyways. As always, please do not immediately jump to, oh man, they're reprinting Moxes. It's not going to happen. Core sets are coming back in July. We knew that from Monday's announcement, but we do have one final announcement. Out of nowhere, we're getting an early Christmas present. Unstable, the third of the unsets, is being released this December. If you're not familiar, unsets are silver bordered, meaning they're not legal for play in any sanctioned formats. I have some in my cube, some EDH groups will let some cards be played, etc. But if you're going to a store, a tournament, etc., they are not to be played. And they're sets that are very weird, jokey, janky, and importantly, fun. Cards that require you to do the hokey pokey to prevent damage. Cards that are strangely obsessed with squirrels and chickens and clams. Cards that are unblockable if your opponent is wearing denim. And so on. Now, some super stern Magic is serious business only people get angry about these sets existing. How dare Wizards have fun and encourage people to have fun? What a waste of time. But these sets are fun. Are they great to draft every week for 3 months? No. God no. Hell no. Absolutely not. Are they great for a few drafts and then fun includes in casual games, cubes, EDH decks, etc.? Absolutely. What's more is that Morrow mentioned that this set will have some modern design sensibilities. Odds are some of the really out there stuff will be toned down a little bit, and this will likely be way more draftable and playable than the previous two sets were. But this is Morrow's baby. He's been working on it for 7 years. I'm so beyond excited for this, you don't even know. I will most certainly be recording paper drafts of this for multiple Wacky Wednesdays in December. I will be doing my absolute best to make sure that I get gameplay footage of these actual matches, etc. I am so hyped for the third unset. Anyways, that's going to wrap up a whole bunch of announcements. Let me know what you think of all of these announcements. Are you excited for Dinosaur Pirates? I sure as hell am. Are you excited for Unstable? Is Unstable a waste of time, and how dare we have fun? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at TheManaLeek. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card. You can also find me at Facebook.com/TheManaLeek, Twitch.tv/TheManaLeek, and Patreon.com/TheManaLeek if you want to support the channel there, work your way towards earning a playmat, etc. If you do like the content, click that thumbs up button. If you're new, hi, welcome. Click that subscribe button. And if you do have questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, see y'all next time.